Hey, I'm back. Well, today I want to talk to you about Bill Clinton and his wife when she was Secretary of State. This is from the IV Times, or International Business Times. It's a pretty lengthy article. So let's see. Former President Bill Clinton accepted more than $2.5 million in speaking fees from 13 major corporations and trade associations, who then lobbied the U.S. State Department while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. The fees were paid directly to the former president, paid directly to Bill Clinton, and not directed to his foundation. Many of the companies that paid Bill for those speeches, which is a roster of global giants that includes Microsoft, Oracle, and Dell, engaged him within the same 3-month period in which they also lobbied the State Department in pursuit of their policy aims, which is shown in federal documents. Several companies received millions of dollars in State Department contracts while Hillary Clinton led that institution. They disclosed that President Clinton received personal payments for speeches from the same corporate interests that were actively seeking to secure favorable policies from a federal department overseen by his wife, underscores the vexing issue now confronting her for her presidential aspirations. The Clinton family is at the center of public suspicions over the extent of insider dealings in Washington, emblematic of concerns that corporate interests are able to influence government action by creatively funneling money to people in power. And I remember clearly, I think it was dealing with banks, she said, the money I got from the speeches from the Wall Street banks has never influenced my decisions. Okay, well, maybe the Wall Street banks, but what about these companies? This dynamic is as insidious and endemic to this system, said Meredith McGee, who's the policy director of the Campaign Legal Center, which is a campaign finance watchdog group in Washington. The fact is that the wealthiest 1% on the outside of government believes fervently that by paying speaking fees or by making campaign contributions that it can gain access and it can gain influence. So by them accepting these speaking fees and or campaign contributions, they are perpetuating this within the various fields. Microsoft, Oracle, Dell, and there's more that's listed here. Federal ethic rules aim to discourage officials and their spouses from accepting gifts from interests seeking official action from a government agency, but the rules do not apply to speaking fees. See, so they found a little wiggle room in that. Speaking fees has to be added to that rule. It doesn't say it's a law, it just says ethics rule. It has to be updated, and it has to become a law. That was said by Craig Holman, an advocate for tightened ethics structure at Public Citizen, a watchdog group in Washington. The rules at issue wouldn't have any regulations that would make this illegal, unless, of course, that they were quid pro quo, and that would be a violation of the bribery law, Holman told the Times paper. There isn't an ethics rule that prohibits someone like Bill Clinton from charging exorbitant speaking fees and collecting those speaking fees from businesses that have interest before the administration. But regardless of the rules, he added, the dynamic through which President Clinton has been able to profit from the same companies eager to gain the ear of his wife's while she was in the State Department poses a very troubling conflict of interest situation that is going to continue to dog Hillary over the course of her campaign, and I hope it does, and I hope it takes her down. So they have a list here. Dell gave $300,000. That just jumped on me. Why did it jump on me? Oh, because now it's going to start playing a freaking National Retail Federation, $200,000. Oracle, $200,000. Salesforce, $200,000. Starwood Hotels and Resorts, $200,000. Goldman Sachs, $200,000. Farmer, $200,000. BHP Bilton, $175,000.
A big, beautiful
Biotechnology Industry Organization. Why is it starting this? Oh, this is a pain in the butt. I hate these things that have these pop-ups on it, and it won't stop. Now they sent questions to Microsoft and Dell, and they didn't return any response. 3 of the technology firms that paid Bill Clinton were lobbying Hillary Clinton agency, also received lucrative State Department contracts. Hear that? That doesn't sound like quid pro quo? Does to me. Microsoft received almost $4 million in such contracts after receiving none the year before Clinton joined the cabinet. Oracle received $6.5 million in State Department contracts, a large increase from the prior years. Dell secured contracts worth more than $28 million, up $2.5 million in just the year before she was Secretary of State. A spokesman for Dell told the Times here that the company had paid for the Clinton to address the company's customers at a conference as a means of sharing his insights on global issues. As a former president, he has a unique perspective on world affairs, and we're eager for him to share that perspective with our customers, they said. He characterized Dell's lobbying of the State Department as basic corporate engagement. See, so they've labeled it basic corporate engagement. So we'll give you $200,000 for you to yap away while your wife's in the State Department. And then, because we know, how much did Dell get? $28 million in secured contracts. So it's worth it to them. They pay $200,000, they get $28 million. Bill Clinton received $200,000 from the National Retail Federation in 2012. During the same time period, the group was lobbying the State Department. At that time, the trade association, which represents retail businesses, was opposing legislation to fight Chinese currency manipulation that could cost companies doing business there. The group said its payment to Bill Clinton had nothing to do with its work lobbying the former president's wife. Yeah, right. Like, we believe that, right? The National Retail Federation works with agencies and speaker bureaus to find prominent national and international leaders to address our members and attendees in the hope that they will find the remarks insightful and informative. He said the group's events have featured similarly prominent speakers in the past. The mining conglomerate, BHP Billiton, paid the former president $175,000 to speak at a board of directors meeting in Australia in June of 2012. During that time period, the firm's federal disclosures also show it was lobbying the State Department about mining interests in Gabon. Other speaking fees flowed to Bill Clinton just before or just after firms lobbied his wife's State Department. The trade association representing drug companies Pharma paid Bill Clinton $200,000 to speak at its annual members meeting in April 2011. Only weeks after federal records show it lobbied Hillary Clinton's State Department on the proposed TPP, which could boost drug company profits by tightening patent protections for pharmaceutical products. After Bill Clinton received the cash from the farmer, Hillary Clinton gave a speech in November 2011 promoting the TPP. Scott Cafina, who served as an associate counsel to President George W. Bush, told IB Times the payments to Bill Clinton by firms lobbying Hillary Clinton's agencies are worthy of an investigation. Did she recuse herself from any matters involving foundation donors or entities who paid President Clinton for speeches or other services? Maybe she did, and if so, she should get credit for it, said Cofina, a former federal prosecutor. But we'd also want to know the opposite, whether she intervened in a decision-making process on behalf of a donor or benefactor. Well, there's a whole list of the benefactors here that receive millions of dollars in through the State Department after paying speaking fees. You know, I really do not comprehend at all how the people of this United States have not done anything about this. I mean, there's people, I'm just a lowly freaking person that's broke-ass poor. Not that I can't sign a petition, not that I can't go to local government things, but that's not going to influence the State Department. There are people, though, that are in power that can influence the State Department, such as these watchdog groups. Why aren't they blasting it? I don't know. Something has to be freaking done, I tell you, because something has to be done.